Our next guest knows what it's like to create viral videos. Her comedy sketches like Spanish for Your Nanny and Let Me Borrow That Top have hit 16 million views.
That Spanish for Your Nanny is
hilarious.
It's off the charts funny. I know. Well, she's back in LA after a successful runoff on off-Broadway in the comedy show Latina Christmas Special. Of course, we're way past Christmas. But please welcome the very funny Diana Yanez. Nice to have you here, Diana.
Hi,
Diana. So let's lay the groundwork first.
Okay.
I'm Latino.
Yes.
You're Latina.
Yes.
I'm American of Mexican descent. You're American of
Cuban descent.
And we are not similar in many. We're similar in some ways.
Yes, but we use different words for certain things, which can create hilarious confusion.
It's really funny stuff that you do, that you've created.
Thank you. Thank
just
you
showing the dynamic between the. And then this Latina Christmas, there's 3 of you there.
Yes, exactly. It's Sandra Valls and Maria Russell are my co-stars, and they are also of different descents. Even though Maria is half Mexican, half Lithuanian, a Mexuanian from the Valley. And then we have Sandra Valls, who is Mexican descent, born in America, but Laredo, Texas.
Oh, so it's just the whole Texas thing.
Literally, like half the city is on the other side of the border. So she always says, I'm not just regular Mexican, I'm Mexican.
And you bow
and that's
down,
her joke, okay, not mine.
And you bow down to the Estefan throne, right? Because you're Cuban.
Actually, I grew up right by Miami Sound Machine Drive, which used to not be Miami Sound Machine Drive when I was there, but during my time there, it changed.
It was a south area. What did you call it?
La Sahuesera.
La Sahuesera,
La Sahuesera, which stands for Southwest area. Yes.
Southwest area.
Tell me about why it was so important for you to get these different women together for this special, because we all share a common narrative, and the audience, whether you are Latin or not, can relate to what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, that was the main purpose of it all. I mean, I believe in that when we tell our stories, when we're honest about what we come from, we'll discover that human being is human being. Like, we all have similar experiences. And in America, especially where there are millions, I mean, I know there's 52 million Latinos. I know there must be many, many more other first-generation Americans. So imagine that if we all told our stories, then we'd all suddenly go, oh, well, you're just like me. I had a Chinese-American friend who came to Latina Christmas Special who said, God, I never realized how Latin my family is, right?
Right, exactly. Because everybody has the same relationship with their parents and their friends. Like,
all you need to have to relate to the show is have a parent. And I feel like that's really connects all of us.
Right. For all of us first generation or second generation, we all have relatives who speak the old language, speak Spanish, and add a little Spanglish. Lisa comes from an Italian family.
Yes.
So they have Italian, they speak, don't they? And,
absolutely.
And food is a big part of our lives. And, and so we have a lot in common, and people don't realize that. When you go to a show like that, you go, hey, I get it.
Yeah.
It's me.
Exactly. And one of the reasons we have three writer performers is that we wanted to give 3 different perspectives, because each one of us is different from the other. And also that there's differences between Hispanic cultures. Like, oftentimes people say, oh, you're Spanish, you must be from wherever. I don't know what they decide. But like, I'll give you a great example. I went on an audition and they said, can you please speak educated Spanish?
Oh, jeez.
And I said, okay. And then they said, could you do Spanish without an accent? And I said, Spanish without an accent? Do you mean like Spanish from Spain? Like fa? And they said, no, not, just without an accent. I said, well, what's without an accent? And they said, well, Mexican.
Yeah.
And I said, Mexican has an accent compared to...
No, there's no accent in Mexican. Come on.
But you know what I mean? Like, every culture, every country has their own accent. So when they were saying without an accent, I was like, well, what do you mean without an accent? Every country. The only place that doesn't have an accent is Spain. They're Spanish.
I want you to tell me your favorite story about your family that you've kind of based part of this special on.
Oh my gosh. Well, there's a big story in the show that I singled out just one of our cockroach experiences. Cockroach experiences in Miami.
I say cockroach.
I know, it's because it's cucaracha. So you go cockroach.
Yeah, the extra syllable.
But it's cockroach.
Right.
And in Miami, first of all, we have really big ones, size of skateboards.
Yeah.
Sure.
Really big. And very scary, and they fly.
Right.
So in the show, I talk about one of those experiences. Of course, I could write a whole show about all of the experiences we had. But one of the things that happened was that my family, being very tight energy, you know, sort of explosive and chaotic, the experience we had when we were children was that cockroaches could kill you. Like, I thought that they were really deadly, that they could bite, that they could, you know, because the experience was that it was horrible. It was horrible. So when I kind of left Miami and I lived in Germany for a while, and I somehow found out that it's because they have German cockroaches.
Of course they do.
But they're very disciplined.
Right.
But they're very disciplined. They're very quiet. But, you know, my gut was to be, we're going to die. And it turns out that there's nothing. They don't bite. They cannot kill you. They're not even really dirty. Now, I still, if you were to go, well, what about this one? I'd be like, But it's not what I thought it was, yeah. And speaking about Spanglish, I actually discovered later in life there were a lot of words that I thought were Spanish.
Yeah.
There were actually English words in Cuban accent, like sawasera.
Sawasera or closet.
I wrote that on my college application.
I
was like, what part of Miami from? I went to sawasera, thinking that that's an actual name.
I like your description of closet. Ahí ponemos la ropa en el closet.
Right, exactly.
Closet is not a Spanish word. It's an English word.
Yes, well, no,
Closet.
exactly. And then people were like, "You're not using the right word." And when I asked my mom, she said, "Well, it's like closet's from America, like hot dog and Chevrolet. Closet, Chevrolet, hot dog.
Hot dog.
¿Quieres un hot dog?"
My relatives used to say the Gauzu Stational. Gas station. Gauzu Stational. That's just how they go.
Diana, it's so great to have you here. Best of luck.
My pleasure.
Good luck with it. I hope that it gets to tour and it goes all over the country and it gets picked up by some movie company.
And we're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to it.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for
And
having
check out
me.
Spanish for your nanny. You'll laugh your head off.
Hilarious.